Welcome to this video and my channel. My name is Pedro Rodrigues Ribeiro. I'm a psychologist from Portugal and I would like to invite you to a new series of videos. And in this series I'm gonna be talking about key figures, important people in the area of hypnosis, but also in the area of psychotherapy, since most of them did contribute to hypnosis and psychotherapy. These key figures, some of them are still contributing to these days, and another part of them already passed away, but their work is truly immortalized in the literature about hypnosis and psychotherapy. My main goals with these videos are to pay tribute to these people, these key figures in hypnosis and psychotherapy, but also to kind of introduce them to the public, to the general public, but also to psychologists, psychiatrists, physicians, mental health and health community that don't know them as much as some people in the hypnosis community may have. But what I find interesting, and in my opinion a little disturbing, is that a lot of people who are in the hypnosis community, who are training to be professionals who utilize hypnosis in their practice, most of them don't know some of these key figures, and I think it's a shame, because I consider them to be the basis, the fundamentals of hypnosis, not only in the experimental side but also in the clinical side. So I would like to contribute to those people and to everyone who has some curiosity in hypnosis. I would like also to say that my choices in these key figures are arbitrary. What I mean with that is that I'm not going to start from the first one, the central figure, to the last one. So it's not in a particular order. I may one day think about a specific person and I think, oh, it's a good idea. So don't worry, it's not in a particular order. It's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. And also, I would like to say, before I speak about the person, that my intention is not to make a biographical video, because it would be too long. So I will try to make it short. But in my view, for someone to get introduced to the person and to their work, it's more important that I stress some key figures in the person's life and work, and not all the little details. And to be truly honest, for most of them, I really don't know every detail about their lives. That requires some special digging, some truly research effort. So please excuse me if I missed something. The first person that I would like to talk about is Ernest Rossi. So, I think that everyone, or mostly everyone that is in the hypnosis community knows or might have heard the name of Ernest Rossi before, especially those who are particularly fond of the Ericksonian approach to hypnosis and psychotherapy. Rossi is a main contributor to the Ericksonian approach, but also in the field of mind body therapy and mind body interventions, which he really transformed and make a big step and contributed a lot to what we know in mind body interventions. So, Dr. Rossi is originally a Jungian analyst, and he and his wife Catherine Rossi went to Phoenix, Arizona to meet and learn from Milton Erickson. So, Rossi is one of Erickson's original students. Not only did he learn hypnosis from Erickson, but he also learned the philosophy and the approach of Erickson to therapy. And in sense, he tried to explain it to other people as much as he tried to understand it for himself. In that sense, Rossi contributed a lot to the literature and to the evolution of the Ericksonian approach, especially in the later years of Erickson's career. If you do a research for Erickson's work, you will find a lot of books and a lot of collections of articles that were co-authored with Rossi, so Erickson and Rossi. And those books really are some of the fundamental basis of the Ericksonian approach. And it's very curious because they are a mix of theoretical points. Some of them, the philosophy of Milton Erickson, what Erickson was thinking, what Erickson was doing, and some of the things that Erickson believed that therapy was, and what therapy was supposed to be accomplished upon, and also the thoughts of Rossi are well established in those books, because Rossi tried to pick the mind of Milton Erickson while discussing the cases and really asking Erickson what was his idea, what was his theoretical base for thinking and doing some technique or some therapeutic movement at that time and at that place. And Rossi would also try to give his perspective to that issue. So, and a lot of the books really had the transcripts of some sessions with patients that Erickson was doing, but also with students, because one of the main things that Erickson did in and explaining and teaching hypnosis and psychotherapy was really doing that. So a person who was supposed to learn hypnosis and psychotherapy with Erickson would be hypnotized and Erickson would do therapy with that person. So it's learning by experience. And Rossi truly contributed to that point. But also, Rossi was the main contributor to the evolution of the idiomotor and idiosensor phenomena in hypnosis. He co-wrote a book with David Cheek, who is also a key figure in hypnosis, in the field of hypnosis, which is called Mindbody Therapy. The book is an excellent representation of the idiomotor principle and the idiosensor principle, all those responses. So it's kind of you have an idea, and your body will transform that idea into a specific reality. So if I'm thinking about my arm and levitating my arm, or some image that kind of makes me feel like light and peaceful and refresh, or a memory where I'm a little child and I'm trying to reach to something, to get something from an up very tall place. My hand and my arm would automatically and without effort start to levitate. So that's a idiomotor response. A idiosensor response is, for example, if I recall a day where I was at the beach, and I could recall how enjoyable it was to feel the 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 sun rays in my skin. My skin would started to get hot, and to really my body heat, my temperature would start to rise up, because my body would transform that sensation, that idea of a sensation, or that memory, into action. So this is idiomotor and idiosensor response phenomena in hypnosis, and it's a simple demonstration as the mind can interfere with the body. In this case, in a positive way, but also we know that in some cases the mind can influence the body to be really fragile, and then the and then we have really the chances we have to get some diseases will start to rise up. For instance, we know that mental health and mental issues are a risk factor to certain diseases like cancer, some oncological variations of cancer. So we know that for a fact. If we have some mental health issues, or if our mind is not well balanced, our body can really be effective and be vulnerable to those kind of diseases. But also others, like for example diabetes, obesity, strokes, well, a lot of conditions. So really, when we do a certain kind of intervention for the mind, we are also helping the body to get healthy. And Rossi took a step further when he started to really get interested in the biology, the chemistry, the physics aspect of the body. For example, cellular work. Rossi hypothesized that hypnotic communication could affect cellular work in one's body, and that kind of reasoning, uh, and with that reasoning, Rossi started to evolve his practice in hypnosis, and he come up with something that he called the magic hands. The magic hands was a way that Rossi came up with in working with someone, in working with someone's unconscious processes. So he utilized the hands as a metaphor, as a symbol, and in one hand, a person might put the problem, and in the other the solution, or in one hand I would have a part of me that wants something, and in the other hand another part of me that wants another thing, and a conflict it truly exists. So with something that Rossi called the accessing Q questions, in a very client oriented approach, Rossi would communicate with the unconscious of the unconscious part of the mind, to start working and to start to make those changes at a cellular level, at a chemical level, at a truly biological level. So the issues that the person had could be resolved by his resources, by his unconscious part of the mind. It's a form of hypnosis, but not as formal, or not as conversational as the Ericksonian approach. Very much like hypnosis, but it's at the same time it's really different. And Rossi did that, and he also talked about the Ultradian cycles that the body has. It's a period of time where the body really shuts down a little to recuperate and to really get some transformation working inside. It's a period of time where we try to achieve homeostasis, and we do some cellular regeneration. And Rossi estimated that those periods of time would be like in 90 minutes, 120 minutes. So when we do therapy inside those cycles, we are uh, we are getting a boost from those kind of internal processes, which Erickson did kind of unconsciously, or kind of like a gut feeling, and Rossi would explore that in a more research based approach, and really discovered those kind of things. The final thing that I would like to mention is that Rossi's work evolved and transformed by his collaboration with a student and friend of his called Richard Hill. And nowadays, Richard has his approach, which he calls the mirroring hand approach. The mirroring hands approach is an evolution of the magic hands and the work that Rossi did. So It's a kind of tribute, but also an evolution in the way that Rossi fought and Rossi worked. So, in conclusion, I would like to phrase that if you can truly believe everything that Rossi says, or you have some doubts of some things that Rossi says, and that's okay, because this process is really what makes us grown, what makes us think in a critical sense. But in my perspective, Rossi is an important figure in the field of hypnosis and in the field of mind-body therapy interventions. His ideas would start and yes, his ideas started a new discussion at the benefits of psychotherapy, but also the benefits of certain kind of communication that we as psychotherapists have, and the possibilities that that communication really transforms and interferes with the internal processes of the patient. So I would like to recommend the reading of Rossi's work, but I would like to warn you that Rossi's writing is very profound and very complex sometimes. So I I spent a lot of years trying to read and trying really to understand a lot of the concepts of Rossi's works. So only in recent times that I truly had the maturity and the experience to understand some concepts that Rossi talked about. I would like to thank you for listening into and viewing this video, and as always, I would like to apologize for some misspellings, since English is not my natural language, but I'm trying my best. I would like to say again, thank you, and be safe, be well. If you like these themes, these videos, please subscribe, please share, and I'll see you next time.